Today, I basically want to talk about my oneitis, and this isn't really a story time, but yeah, just telling some stories about my oneitis, which at this point happened to me 4 years ago, 5 years ago or so, like quite a while ago now. But I have kind of a blocked nose today. I'm not feeling too good, so sorry about that. But I only get so much to myself when I can make these videos, so I gotta seize the opportunity whenever I can. So just ignore it. Yeah, I know it's kind of annoying, but it's fine. So this is going back to 2017, 2018 sort of time. I was still in school at the time. I don't know what grade I was in. Okay, so I was like in the 8th grade and the 9th grade. This is like that, around that time. I don't remember how old I was, like however old you are when I don't remember exactly, but I guess I was around 15 or so. And the oneitis who I met was in my English class, right? Now, the way it worked is we had like a seating plan, so you just sit wherever you got told to sit. Basically, I got sat next to her. So the way it worked is the desks we had 2 people per desk, so I had this guy next to me, but then between the desks there were like aisles, so you could walk between them, and she was across the aisle to me from my left. So I wasn't like directly next to her, but I was sitting pretty much next to her. And I'm gonna come up with a fake name for her. I'm just gonna call her Alice. I'm gonna call her Alice just because I'm not gonna use her real name. I'm not gonna do that. But Alice sat to my left. She sat across from me a little bit, and we started. I don't really remember how it started, because the first time I ever talked to her, I like insulted her. It was this like a year or two before the 8th grade, but I just remember she was standing there, and I don't know, this was like a time when I was just insulting everyone. I don't remember exactly what I said to her, but I think I called her like a fat fuck for some reason. I don't know why. I just had no chill. I just was. I don't know why I was such a retard when I was a kid, but I just said that to her, and she had this really lame response. She was like, "I got my inspiration from you," which is such a terrible response. I didn't say it like completely out of nowhere. She was like winding up like one of my friends. Well, not friends, but someone I knew, and I just thought it would be funny to say it to her. I don't know, but I guess she didn't remember that, or she just didn't care, because she started talking to me in this class, right? I also sat next to her in. I didn't sit like directly next to her, but I sat near her in my RE class, which is like religious studies. But the religion class was like laid out differently. Instead of desks, they had like rows, and they were all connected to each other. So there were like 20 people in a row, and if you sat in the middle of it, you had to just like wriggle your way through. So if you were really fat, I don't know how you do it, but I sat near the end, and she sat a few like next to me. But I remember we'd been talking in English for like quite some time, and she started talking to me in RE as well, and we were just talking about stuff. But I don't know, I remember I like really got on with her for some reason, and I don't know, I liked her because she was like my type as well, or sort of, not exactly. I'm going to explain what my type is, because I might as well, but I want to point out before I do that if making like a girl, or like making your girlfriend, was like a character customization thing from like a video game or something, this is what I would do. But these aren't my requirements, you know what I mean? Like, when it comes to physical stuff, if like the only requirements I have is basically that she's not like deformed, like Elephant Man type stuff. If it's just like a little bit of deformity, that's fine, but like crazy stuff, or if she's really fat, or like, obviously she needs to be within a certain age range, because obviously I'm not going to date someone who's like 50 or like 10 or whatever, but you know what I mean. That's it, literally that's it. Apart from that, there's no girl that I would not go on a date with. But like that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like my ideal. So she had like she was quite pale. I don't know why I like that, but I do. Like, ideally like a white, no, I'm not in a racist way, but or in a racist, I don't care. I'm not racist, but it might as well be. So put that in the video. I don't know, but yeah, but I do like a white girl, or like an Asian girl who's like really pale. And as I say, this is like my ideal. This is not a requirement at all. I'm not locking anyone out. It's fine if you do, if you have a racial preference. I'm not like, it's obviously fine to have one, but I don't. I guess I have a preference, but not a requirement. But anyway, pale, like quite dark hair, like darker eyes, I guess, and that's about it. I'm not hard to please. I really don't. I'd really go for anyone. But anyway, she had like quite curly hair, and she had a really weird face. I can't describe it. When my friends eventually found out I liked it, because I kind of told them eventually, they were like they all like they all basically took turns like roasting her. Basically, they were just like, oh, she's not good looking. She her mouth sticked out quite a bit, and she had quite big lips, so she looked like a bird with like a beak, sort of. She was like my looks match, kind of, if you think about it. She was probably a few above me. I'd say objectively, what most people would say, she's probably like a 4 to a 6 out of 10. I would have thought she's like a 9 out of 10, but apparently I was wrong. But I'm like, at the time I was probably like a 2 out of 10. I think since then I've become like a 3 out of 10 maybe, just because I've improved in other ways. Like I've worked out, I've looks max. But even if you looks max, it's still, if you're sub 5, you're sub 5. There's nothing you can do, as we know. But anyway, yeah, over the kind of months we talked more, and I got her Instagram, and I was kind of talking to her a little bit, but it didn't really go anywhere over there. And the worst thing about talking to someone on Instagram like that, having a conversation on that app, or like just messaging someone wherever, like the worst bit is when they like just ignore you and ghost you, and that sucks. I've been there too. I've been like, literally, I talked about it like 2 videos ago where I got ignored for like a week. Like I've been there too, and that sucks as well. But I think what's worse is when you're talking to someone, like a girl, and they're messaging you, and they just message like 1-word responses, so they're not interested, but they're just polite enough to keep the conversation going, but they really don't care, and you can kind of tell, because like I've been there too, where people are messaging me and I don't give a fuck what they're saying, and I just want them to go away, but it's rude, so you're just like, yeah, and if they message you, like, yeah. So I get where they're coming from, but it just sucks, and the conversation is just dead, and you're carrying it by yourself. If it wasn't for you, it wouldn't happen. I think if it wasn't for you, the conversation wouldn't be happening, and then it's just like it just dies eventually. Eventually, you stop messaging them, and it just dies, and that's basically what it was. But so that was my oneitis, and I really liked her. And I was trying to like pick up the courage to ask her out, but I never asked her out actually, and there's like a reason for that. So one of the reasons is this is after my worst rejection ever story, which is another video I made, another story time I made. So after that, I was pretty scared to ask anyone out. The kind of the main reason I didn't ask her is I kind of lost interest in her. The thing is though, like I know more about her now. So if she asked me out today, obviously she's not going to, but if like she came out of nowhere and asked me out today, I don't think I'd say yeah, and here's why, right? So there were 2 things that happened with her that like kind of made me lose interest a little bit. Right, so there were 2 things she did that made me kind of lose interest in her. So here's the first one. So this was in our English class, we were just talking like usual, and there had been this story in the news at the time where there was this like escape room, if you guys know what those things are, like where you go and you just have to like escape, like solve puzzles to escape a room, basically. It's exactly what it sounds like. And there was this story in the news that at the time was quite a big deal, not like a huge deal, but it was making the because it was like local as well, so it was kind of making the rounds. It was making its way around that these people who had been in an escape room, I don't know if it's like a family or some friends, but this fire had like started in this room and they'd like died. I don't know if they burnt or like suffocated or whatever, but they died in this escape room, and it was on the news and stuff, and people were like, oh, this is a tragedy or whatever. Anyway, I'd heard about it, but I didn't read about it. I just saw how you do when it's on your phone and you see it pop up, right? And I was like, whatever. Not good, obviously. I don't, whatever. I wasn't losing sleep over it, but I'm just saying, right? Anyway, I went to school like the next day or some time like that week. I was sitting next to her, and she was talking to me. She's like, "Oh, did you hear about this thing that happened?" I was like, "Yeah." And she was saying it obviously just to be edgy and stuff, 'cause she thought she was really cool. But she was like, "Oh, there's this escape room and these people died," and she started like laughing like it was funny. And I wasn't like offended, but like at the same, it's not like I'm not like hugely offended, but at the same time, it's just not funny. Like I'm all for dark humour and stuff, but if the joke is just someone died, it's not do something with it. Like, as we all know, women aren't funny, so we shouldn't really be surprised that she made such a terrible joke. But anyway, she did, and I kind of laughed as well. I laughed back just because I liked her and I wanted her to like me. I didn't want her to think like I was like a pussy or something. and I'm not really proud of that, to be honest with you. Today, looking back, I kind of wish I hadn't. No disrespect, obviously, to the people who died, and it's not like, as I said, I have no problem with like dark humor or like edgy jokes, but at the same time, I was just doing it so to get this girl to like me, and she never even liked me anyway, so nothing even ever came from it, so it was in vain. But that was the first thing. But that was like a minor thing. If that was the only thing that happened, I wouldn't have lost like total interest in her. But this second thing really made me lose respect for her, right? So we were on like a school trip in Berlin, which is like in Germany, if you guys didn't know. I know some of you are from America, so you probably don't know, but Berlin is the capital of Germany. And we went on a school trip there, like a history school trip, to look at like, I don't know, whatever was good, I don't know. It couldn't have been a very good trip because I don't remember any of the stuff we looked at, but we went to this, well, one thing we went to this like concentration camp for some reason. Well, I mean, to do with history, so I guess, and that was it was fine, but the story takes place like when we were walking back. So we got the train from our like hotel we were staying at. Now it was such a shitty hotel as well. There were 4 of us in a room, and so when we got there, they were like, this is a sidetrack, but I'm just going to go into this. When we got there, we were like in this lobby, and they were like, so you can choose who you're going to be in a room with. So there were 4 of us in a room. It was me. It was this like quite nice kid who I kind of liked. It was the kids. There was the other kid who was there was from my worst rejection ever video. He was the kid I got the bus with, and there's this other like kid with like really long hair who was kind of a retard. But there was the 4 of us in that room, right? But it was just a really shitty, cheap hotel. But it was right outside the train station, and we had to stick in our groups. So these 4 people, these 3 other people, so 4 including me, I was kind of stuck with them. We got the train, or like the subway or whatever, the U-Bahn as they call it, to this concentration camp. And we got to this like small like village like outside of the camp, and then we had to walk to the camp, right? And on the way back, we were walking back, and there was this old German man like walking down the street. And for context, right, the kid in my room who I liked, it doesn't really matter who he was, but one of the kids in our room, right, the only normal kid in our room, he had like a bag on. Anyway, so this girl I liked, Alice, my oneitis, right, she clearly liked him. I don't know like what I thought of that at the time, because like she clearly liked him better than she liked me, and she was constantly flirting with him, which sucked. Like when I was in the cafeteria at our hotel in Berlin, I overheard these people talking about her, and they were like, "Oh, she flirts with everyone," and I was kind of disappointed to hear that, because I thought I was special. This is how blue-pilled I was. I was like, "Oh, I thought I was really special because she liked me," but she just obviously she does it with everyone. She for attention, just like all women, they just want attention. But she was like flirting with him, but her idea of flirting was so retarded. She was such a mong. Right, listen to this. Listen to what she was doing. He had like a backpack on, and she stole it and was like not giving it back to him, like giggling and stuff. And he told me, like, I told him I liked it, and he was like, I do not like her at all. I think he was probably gay, to be honest. He was like, no, I really don't like her. And he never had a girlfriend or anything. He said he'd never like watched like porn, which is fine, like, good for him. Like, don't, because it's terrible, right? But I guess she was trying to impress him somehow, and it's so like retarded how you think that would work. Obviously, it's not going to work. Anyway, this old German man was walking down the street, and she was swinging the bag around. And we got to this like road with a crossing, and we pressed the button. We were waiting for like the guy to go green or whatever, so we could walk across. And this old German man was just walking past. He saw her swinging the bag around, right? Yeah. And he like tried to walk out of the way, and he was like, obviously he didn't speak any English, but he was like smiling at us. This poor guy, or I don't know actually, because he's an old German man living near a concentration camp. So I guess we don't know. Maybe he was like a guard there or something. I don't know, but as far as I know, he'd done nothing wrong, right? So he was just walking past us, and she swung the bag, and even though he'd walked out of the way to avoid her, she still hit him in the side with the bag. And he didn't even say anything. He was just like, ooh, and he just kept walking, because he had a walking stick and everything. And she just looked at him, and she was just like, oh, and she didn't even say anything. She didn't apologise. She was just like, oh, whatever. And I just saw that, and it just disgusted me, to be honest with you. I thought she was like different. She wasn't like these other females that are acting like this. But the truth is, that they really are all the same, right? Any female who was in that situation would have probably reacted the same way, right? So that was what really made me lose interest in her, and I really wasn't. I never really talked to her much again. And then at the end of the year, I got in a different English class, in a different RE class, so I wasn't in her classes anymore, and I never saw her again really. But the reason, kind of what made me remember this a little bit, what kind of brought this back to me, was what happened maybe a week ago. So I was on Instagram, and I've been using Instagram on and off for like a month now. I've been using it less and less, but I kind of remembered her. I was like, oh, I wonder if she's still on Instagram, because I'd got like a new Instagram account, so I hadn't unfollowed her, but I wasn't following her anymore because I got a new account like years ago. This is like obviously like 3 years ago I made my new account, because this was ages ago this was all happening, right? So I looked her up on there, and she was on there, but she was private, so I requested to follow her, and I assumed she wouldn't like allow it, but she did. And I checked out her account, and it's just like, yeah, I really dodged a bullet. So I checked her account out, and on her bio she's got like a bunch of emojis on there, and like her, whatever you like, her star sign, you know what I mean, like her astrology star sign, and she's got her pronouns in her bio. And it's just like, yeah, you're like, yeah, no, I wouldn't, you know what I mean, I would not go out with someone like that. Like, pronouns in bio is one thing, star sign is another thing. I mean, they're both pretty bad, but combine them together, it's like, hell no, dude, hell no. I'm not, no. Not that I had a chance with her anyway, you know, obviously not, but even if I did. But I've accepted now, like, I don't really have a chance with the girl. Like, she was like my last crush as well. Like, I've had crushes on girls in the past, but she was like my biggest crush. She was like my oneitis, as I said. And she was like my last crush as well, because ever since then I've just had like waifus, and I'd honestly recommend like getting a waifu, because you know, like human feelings, human emotions, something that we all feel, and you know, you need an outlet to express that. You need someone to like dedicate it to, otherwise you'll just be so lonely. So waifus are a really good cope. Mine is Asuka from Evangelion, if you guys know who she is. It's like literally my profile picture, so I don't know. There you go, that's the road I went down. I don't know which is worse, the one she went down or the one I went down, but yeah, there you go, that's the story time. Anyway, that's the end of the video. That's my oneitis. I don't know how this video turned out to be so long, because I thought this was only going to be like 5 minutes, but we'll see. I'll edit down. Most of this video has just been me sniffling. I'm going to cut it all out. I'm going to obviously edit the video so you can't hear all me like sneezing and stuff. But this video turned out to be like 22 minutes, but after I edit it down, I don't know how long it's going to be. We'll see. Anyway, that's the video. Like, subscribe, whatever. Next video will probably be anti-black pill arguments debunked video. I've been working on that. I've been doing loads of research. I've been watching anti-black pill videos, and the points they make are so retarded. You guys are going to hopefully enjoy that video. I'm going to be editing that together. Like, it's going to be like my first proper video. Like, I'm going to edit it together well. I've had this idea as well. Maybe this is a cope, but I've been thinking about making like non-black pill related videos. Like, not YTPs again, but like a lot of my spare time I like read books, because like what else are you going to do, right? I say like 99% of my free time is just reading or playing video games. But like I've like read a lot of like history books, and I've thought of like making like educational history videos, because I think I could do it in like an interesting way. But I don't know, like I know like most of you guys won't be interested in that, which is like you're only here for the black pill stuff, which is fine, and I'm never going to stop making black pill videos. Like I might just put the history stuff on its own channel, but it'll be a fun cope maybe. And like I know, as I say, I know like 99% of you won't be interested, but don't worry, the black pill videos aren't going anywhere. I'm going to keep making loads of these, because I mean these are a cope, but I do enjoy making them, sort of, so, you know, kind of, and I guess it's a cope for other people to listen to them or watch them, and hopefully some of you enjoy them. I mean, I guess some of you must enjoy them because they get likes and stuff, so I guess people like them. But yeah, I'll see. I don't know. I probably won't do anything with that, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it.
Some bad ideas in my head. I just fuck on this.
Too much abuse has gone on for too long.